dienos uogos, labai kaip iš vaško. Pasaulis miršta, silpnas ir gražus. Štai vėjas debesį į ties kaimo drasko ir rėkia debesis į žmogų panašus. Kam dangui geltoni langai dreba, prieš per mišką į mažiuką. Ta švietinė vidinį grabą, šoka liepsnas mažiuką. Didžiulis vėjas seną pušį laužo. Čia paukščių kekės dega miškuose. Bet reikiasi su mūgais drėgną laukų. Ten žoliai krūvojantį debesį.
I swear I'm still the same person, so please just insist that I've changed. Because I can't take the thought of these years wasted staying the same. I've told desperate stories and I've found out where home is, and I've always been one for forgiveness. But the past I fell for it, felt distant and morbid. But sometimes you get so alone that it just makes sense. It just makes sense. You get so alone that it just makes sense. So let go of the smoke in your lungs and let me breathe it in. It's just a matter of how the venom travels. I know I deserve to be the destination. These ghost towns are filled with scarecrows, possessed by scattered pieces of a past I think I'd like to forget. I gave my confessions, fell short of acceptance to them ever since they've been walking the halls in my head. And I don't have the guts to tell them to leave, 'cause what if they're the one and only thing making me a better man since it all fell apart at the seams? Well, it just made sense. It just made sense. I got so alone that it just made sense. So let go of the smoke in your lungs and let me breathe it in. It's just a matter of how the venom travels. And know I deserve to be the destination, 'cause I've broken more than I could ever hope to fix. So let go of the smoke in your lungs and let me breathe it in. Just let me breathe it in. Funny how many songs I've written about never learning to leave good enough alone. Always wait for better weather or a perfect storm. I'll just stay home. Getting more comfortable with cutting my own hair. I guess I'm starting to trust myself again. Maybe next time I won't bury my birthday, thinking I'll finally be worth it next year. I'll spend your civic happiness in a backdoor douche. I spent your civic happiness for a rainy day, but it's been raining since I left. I wished upon a Boeing 737 headed for Tenerife, and look where that got me. What if the promised land is an arid desert where nothing ever grows? 'Cause it's been gray and cold back home all year. I wish upon a Boeing 737 headed for Tenerife, and look where that got me. What if the promised land is an arid desert where nothing ever grows. It's been so fucking cold back home all year. I spent years saving happiness in a back door to the shreds. I spent years saving happiness for a rainy day, but it's been raining since I left. Hey man, I'm sorry, but what's your name again? I've got no short-term memory, it's filled up with shit I wish I could forget. I feel like last words are the only break I'll ever get from this obsession, needing 100 second chances and playing this back over and over again. I keep being reminded that I should forgive and forget, but I've got the best memory and the guiltiest conscience of anyone I have ever met. The sight of you is the smell of gasoline. Swear like a sailor that you won't leave again. When I light the match and tell you who I am versus who I've been. And when things are going too well, I obsess over when they weren't. There's familiarity, the thought of drowning. I've been suffocating in my skin since I started growing. Thought the weight tied to my neck was just growing up for a while. Then I found out it wasn't normal, and the fucking devil on my shoulder cracked a smile. He cracked a smile. With him at the helm, my sinking ship caught fire. And I came up with all these reasons I was an awful person, but you said I've been awful to myself. I keep being reminded that I should forgive and forget, but I've got the best memory and the guiltiest conscience of anyone I have ever met. The sight of you is the smell of gasoline. Swear like a sailor that you won't leave again. When I light the match and tell you who I am versus who I've been. Who I've been. Forgive and forget, but I've got the best memory and the guiltiest conscience of anyone I have ever met. Driving past the one house, the balcony's stacked like novels I keep meaning to read. You make me feel like a fraud. If I was braver or dumber, I might say I love you for it. I'll try to figure out what it is about the word love that makes my eyes well up with tears. My mask started to fall apart and split, and when a metaphor meets real life, I can't tell if that makes it better or worse. The narcissist in the back of my head insists I'm not hopeless, I'm cursed. Top souls are small-scale astrology, and I'll sleep when I find a quieter chest. I'm a mess, I'll look up to Polaris and nope, we'll see the same constellations in time. And time zones are the oceans between a set sail to the center. Catch a moment, I'll get lost at sea. Treasure hunting won't do much to find me, but get a wreck, wash up on shore, and we can get some sleep. I know you know I do this, but you always say you don't pay attention to lyrics. So I wonder if you'll ever know that this one's about you. And I know it's a cliche to point out cliches, some gestured self-awareness. So is it ironic that all I've ever wanted to say is you have really pretty eyes? And my anxiety chooses between calling me a coward and a nuisance, overthinking every seasonal first word. Time zones are just small-scale astrology, and I'll sleep when I find a quieter chest. I'm a mess, I'll look up to Polaris and hope we'll see the same constellations in time. And time zones are the oceans between us and sail to the center. Catch a moment, I'll get lost at sea. Treasure hunting won't do much to find me, but get a wreck, wash up on shore, and we can get some sleep. We can get some sleep. You're moving up north. In 2 months we might never see each other again. I spent so long waiting for the future that I forgot to make it happen. Effort is vulnerability. I've got the unfortunate condition of having a heavy heart with no spine to support it. Why is it even so fucking important? I'm sorry for the confusion. The awkward silence is the space, and what makes all this talk about distance and oceans and stars so pathetic is that at least for now you're only a few steps away. Daylight peeking through the windows, night wind waves goodbye, while the dying moon still lingers in the morning sky. And we haven't slept or taken care of this mess that we call life. But for once the devil on my shoulders, bitter, lonely from last night. We'll sit on tops of dunes like castle hills, like kings and queens. We'll watch as the sun sets over this endless northern sea. Well, it's beautiful and terrifying and everything life is, and I wouldn't trade a thing for this. Daylight making its way out, we stand out on the coast, getting lost in the nostalgia, the songs we wish we wrote. There's a peace in the panic, the senseless poetry on the walls. Maybe the eye of the storm isn't that bad of a place after all. We'll sit on tops of dunes like castle hills, like kings and queens. We'll watch as the sun sets over this endless northern sea. Well, it's beautiful and terrifying and everything life is, and I wouldn't trade a thing for this. All we are is the dust of stars, impractical invention. These nights live for the autopsies on our past selves we call introspection. About how all these years they changed us in anything but name. But I guess the low moon in broad daylight, it just doesn't shine the same. We'll sit on tops of dunes like castle hills, like kings and queens. We'll watch as the sun sets over this endless northern sea. Well, it's beautiful and terrifying and everything life is, and I wouldn't trade a thing for this. No, I wouldn't trade a thing for this. No, I wouldn't trade a thing for this. I'm not good enough to call myself a perfectionist without admitting I'm sad all the time. Well, do you want to talk about how ourselves in past tense ruin everything we want out of life? And every year we seem to find more to regret, every one a potential ghost. And there's enough of them walking the halls in my head, I figured out what I miss the most is some fucking space, a little piece of emptiness. And as the world spins on its axis, we're stranded on the road. Starry nights in the middle of nowhere, you might call it home. And these ghost towns don't scare us anymore. Well, do we get old too fast or grow up too slow? I wasted half of 16 denying the present and the other denying the past. And I told myself to grow up is to fall in love with everything you lost, the things you'll never get back. That it hurts when you come to realize it's about everything you can't undo or forget. And we kneel and pray for the good old days when we didn't have a past to regret. But I'm so tired of running from myself. And as the world spins on its axis, we're stranded on the road. Starry nights in the middle of nowhere, you might call it home. And these ghost towns don't scare us anymore. Well, do we get old too fast or grow up too slow?
Takus sudarė fono lapų, žiedų ir paukščių ir šakų. Ir parke vėjas krūmą kvapų, pagavęs purtė už plaukų. Ir saulė buvo kaip poetų garbė, knyga ir sena. Turiu rašyt, kad jis spindėtų, kad jau seniai regės.
Starting to stop holding my conscience hostage and living in dead memories. And what if the promised land is an arid desert where chained from what made you you're free? I'm starting to stop holding my conscience hostage and living in dead memories. And what if the promised land is an arid desert where chained from what made you you're free? I'm starting to stop holding my conscience hostage and living in dead memories. And what if the promised land is an arid desert where chained from what made you you're free? I'm starting to stop holding my conscience hostage and living in dead memories. And what if the promised land is an arid desert where chained from what made you you're absolutely free? You're better than this time last year. And as the world spins on its axis, we're stranded on the road. Starry nights in the middle of